Good morning. Welcome to Hanging with the Chads. I am Chad Springer, joined as always by the greatest tag team partner ever, Mr. Chad Boudreaux. Boudreaux, how the hell are you doing this morning?
Oh man, it's been a rough couple of days, but getting by, hanging in there.
hmm You're right, Mr. Boudreaux is alluding to it. It has been a very rough couple of days. If you're thinking about athletic directors, we're going back to work tomorrow. If you're thinking about wrestling fans, we lost a true icon. And ladies and gentlemen, yes, we will be talking about Hulk Hogan, the sports entertainer, the wrestling icon, the worldwide larger than life figure, the guy who taught us to say our prayers and eat our vitamins at a very young age better than our parents could. We are not talking about Terry Bollea. We are not talking about the man who has a lot of controversy with his name. We are talking about the man who single handedly put wrestling on the map, and I will stand by that and I will stamp that. If it wasn't for Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania in the 80s, we would not have wrestling in the 2025s like we do now. So let's clear that air. Ladies and gentlemen, look, we're going back to the grind tomorrow. First day of fall sports starting. But before we get into that, yes, we did lose some sports icons this week. Other than that, I mean, we did lose Ozzy Osbourne. The yeah, I mean Ozzy Osbourne, and that's a WWE Hall of Famer too. Mr. Osbourne, may you rest in peace. Hope your family is going and healing the proper way. But we're here to talk about sports entertainment and wrestling. That's part of our snitch, to go along with sports and coaching and AD stuff. And we're gonna remember Mr. Hulk Hogan. So hey, he was larger than life. Let's be real about that. His sportsmanship, he changed the game. And we're going to reflect on some of our favorite moments with him. And Boudreaux, I know you're a bigger Hulk Hogan fan than me. Yes, I have the Hulk Hogan wrestling buddy behind me. You can't see it today, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm in an undisclosed location within my home. So at the end of the day, Boudreaux, you like I said, you're a bigger Hulk Hogan fan than I was. I was not the biggest Hulk Hogan fan in the world, but still a fan nonetheless. What are your thoughts going into it? I know you had a little road trip this week, so talk about that.
Yeah, I am a little bit older than you, so
Ooh,
I
yeah.
grew up with Hulk Hogan. The shirt says it here, 1984, when Hulkamania started. It was a year after I was born. So dated myself a little bit there, but he did. He's the one that brought wrestling to where it is today. I mean, yes, um, it was using what the McMahons did between Vince Sr. and Vince Jr., planning on who was going to take who was going to put the person over. But it was really Hulk Hogan. He's the one that put everything on the map. He was the true first real, besides GI Joes. He was the real action hero. He's the ones that you got, like, you went to the store, you either bought a GI Joe or you bought a Hulk Hogan figure. There wasn't the Ultimate Warrior. There wasn't Andre the Giant yet. It was just Hulk Hogan. And then, like you said, you had the wrestling buddies. I had him and I had Ultimate Warrior. Um, yeah, and then we get the news that he passed away. And actually, it was weird because you texted me and a couple other people texted me, and I was passed out taking a nap because I went into work early that day just to get some things set up for next week. And I wake up and I have 15 text messages, and I was like, "What the hell?" And I start watching it, and I went over here in Orlando. There's a Hogan shop, so I went there a couple days ago and bought some more gear that I didn't have to begin with. Uh, and then just I was from the shop. They had some candles, they had some flyers. People were writing notes to him. I wrote a little note to him. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there was controversy that went around him. But at the end of the day, for wrestling fans and just sports fans, because if you think about it, a lot of the things that athletes do nowadays didn't happen until Hulk Hogan and wrestling made mainstream. Because then now everybody's doing all the shit talking and everything else that goes along with being an athlete. So, and the showboating and all that stuff, that's because of what wrestling brought to the forefront. And it was because of what
Absolutely.
Hulk Hogan did. You look back, I mean, you had WrestleMania 3 when no one thought he could slam Andre the Giant, and he does. Then you have WrestleMania 6, which to me is probably the greatest WrestleMania uh, main event ever when it came to Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. Then you had when him and Macho Man got together, and then you had the breakup between him and Macho Man, which was awesome too. Like that rivalry between the two of them was great. Then he resigned from WWE. They wouldn't renew his contract because he wanted to be done with it. He goes to Hollywood, does his TV show. The next thing you know, he's like, I'm coming back, but I'm gonna go to WCW. And WCW wouldn't be what WCW was if it wasn't for Hogan joining the NWO. Because the NWO faction was great, but when Hogan went and joined NWO at Bash at the Beach, that's when WCW exploded, and that's when the Monday Night Wars really took off, and that's when WCW was beating WWE. So the things that he's done for the sport and what brought all of us, especially men my age, into the sport and who we are now, it's a lot of credit to Hulk Hogan. So yeah, it's been a rough couple of days watching SmackDown and the 10 bell ring that they did for him at the beginning of the show. Like it brought up some emotions. Watching Jimmy Hart there, I kept yelling at the screen, somebody put their arm around Jimmy Hart because he kept crying throughout the whole thing. But yeah, it's been rough, but I mean, it is what it is. We're getting older now, so our heroes are going to start going away. I mean, same thing with Ozzy. I mean, I listened to Ozzy growing up. I mean, before every game, we used to have freaking Ozzy songs playing. So that's just the way it is.
How cool was that? Wasn't it 2 weeks ago? And, listeners, correct me if I'm wrong, and don't call me a fucking idiot or something. Just correct me. He was 2 weeks ago, prior to his death. He was playing a show in Birmingham, England, I believe. And his final song was "Mama, I'm Coming Home," and I guess he's been battling Parkinson's, and so to fight through that, is pretty amazing in itself. So Ozzy Osbourne, he's a legend. It was Black Sabbath he started, right? Yeah. And then they kicked him out because alcohol, and they didn't think that he was going to last very long, and I think he's lasted longer than them a little bit. But R.I.P. to the Prince of Darkness himself, Hulk Hogan. Thunder in Paradise, baby, the greatest TV show in 1994. I think he did his own stunts. I think could be wrong, but no. I remember Hulk Hogan, the wrestler. But if you want to talk about TV shows, hey, Suburban Commando, baby. Look, I've said it once. I've said it a million times. My favorite movie ever is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles original movie, which I will be going on August the 17th to watch the re-release in theater. I will be sneaking popcorn and pizza in there, I promise you. And, have a little Ziploc baggies of it. But if you actually get the VHS tape, and ladies and gentlemen, this is how much I've watched this movie. The VHS tape, if you can find it. Now, kids, I know you don't know what a VHS is, but if you take your iPhone and you multiply it by 12, you get this huge cassette thing with a little string in it, and it shows pictures that's projected out into the TV. All right, so it's pretty cool. All right, so on the VHS tape, and y'all can look this up, there are two commercials. One is the old school Burger King Kids Club commercial. The second one, Suburban Commando with Hulk Hogan. And then you got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. So, ladies and gentlemen, he left WWE. He took a bet on himself to, going to Hollywood. And if you think about it, he's the one that started the trend of wrestlers going to Hollywood. Although his career, of all the wrestlers who went Hollywood, is not the best Hollywood movies, but at least he did it. And yes, the Turner Company did go to him and give him this exuberant contract, this crazy control. And I mean, he changed wrestling multiple times. I don't care what anybody says. In the 80s, he made wrestling. He put it on the map. Yes. We know all those companies like the AWA, the USAW or whatever down in Texas was big. The NWA is still going. It's always big. It's not national like it was, regional like it was. He put 90, it could be disputed, I don't care. He put 90,000 people in the Pontiac Silverdome, not the Superdome. Hulk Hogan reference right there for you. He put that many people in Detroit, Michigan. Okay. He did it in Toronto, Canada. He did it in now the one in Vegas. The first time there was something wrong with that. I was not very happy about that ending, but it is what it is. But the biggest thing he did for professional wrestling, Bash of the Beach, 1996, when he turned heel, because it showed a whole different side of him. And what does that do for people like, Shawn Michaels? He started off with a heel, but people loved him, and then he turned heel. People still loved him. I mean, people still loved Hogan as a heel, but they loved this different version of him. And his heel moment is 10 times better than the John Cena moment, because they have flopped with John Cena turning heel. I'm just going to be very honest.
Oh yeah, 100%. But no, it's like true though. Like you're talking about, like people loved him when he turned heel. If you looked at NWO that year leading up to, well, when they were just the outsiders, that year leading up to before he became part of them, like everyone in WCW hated the outsiders.
Mm-hmm.
They hated everything about them. And then
Vince McMahon's coming to take over.
Yeah, like I mean, it was part of the ploy, but everyone hated. Like even the fans hated it. Like they were like, everyone hates him. Then all of a sudden, Hogan joins. People first hated it. They threw all the trash in the ring and all that stuff.
For real.
And Mean Gene did a great job trying to sell that as much as he could. Mean Gene was badass though. Mean Gene was awesome. But then
I'll kick your ass if I was a foot taller.
Yeah.
That
Right.
was my quote in life.
Yeah. So, but then it just started growing and growing. And if it wasn't for Hogan, I don't know if that storyline would have stayed on. Now, granted, it was the eventual downfall of WCW because everybody ended up joining NWO because they wanted to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But from that moment, that's what made them who they were. And then after that, Eric Bischoff lost his mind and just kept putting everybody in NWO. But it was because of Hogan that kept WCW relevant during the Monday Night Wars because they were losing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get that NWO and they get Hogan in there and they're beating the snot out of freaking WWE for a long time.
84 weeks,
Something like that, yeah.
84 weeks. I think the NWO's downfall, and yeah, we're going to get on a whole nother tangent here, is there was way too many fucking people. If you would have kept it Hogan, Hall, and Nash, you didn't really have to bring in Bischoff, but if you wanted to, that's fine. I mean, because if you're talking about wanting to kill WCW, you want to bring in people from WWF. You could have brought in Macho and got away with it,
Oh, even when they brought in X-Pac, that was fine.
Definitely bringing in
X-Pac. He fit in because he was a part of that original clique.
Yeah,
he was a part of the clique. He was part of the clique.
You could have brought in those guys and not watered it down so much. Look, I'm not scared to get in the ring with Scotty Riggs.
Right.
I mean, Scott Norton's a big dude too, but I mean, who knew him?
Right.
Virgil showed up over there. I'm like, here we go. $1 Million Man. I mean, that's just got watered down. And yeah, we're getting off on a little tangent here, but we'll have one of them episodes where we can talk about the NWO. I thought it was cool when they split. They should have kept it split. I love the Wolfpack theme.
The Wolfpack was awesome.
I was Wolfpack all day, baby. I wasn't for life. I was forever, like K-Dog Conan. But it's cool. I mean, to see all the tributes and hear all the stories, but like a lot of people are making it about Terry Bollea. Yes, Terry Bollea died. Hulkamania, Hulk Hogan. I mean, he's the figure that everybody knew. Nobody sat around and called him Terry. Like Vince McMahon, Gene Okerlund, and Jimmy Hart are probably the only people that called him Terry in this industry. I mean, because even Eric Bischoff refers to him as Hulk. I mean, but the idea, people are using his personal life to like sabotage. Go ahead, do that all you want. It's whatever. We don't care about that. We're talking about the immortal Hulk Hogan, 24-inch pythons, ripping your shirt off. What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you? Some of my finer moments of the Hulk Hogan era. Obviously, the Andre. When I was still young, I didn't get to watch that until I was older because as I was older, I liked watching old wrestling movies. So I went over to a family member's house one day. They had WrestleMania 3. I was like, oh, that's when Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant. I got to watch it. I fast forward every single solitary match. I didn't care about Steamboat and Macho Man tearing the house down. I didn't care about anything else but getting to that Hulk Hogan Andre the Giant match. And, so me personally, I was a WWF guy growing up. So I watched the USA Network a lot more than the TNT Network. However, some of my finer Hulk Hogan moments, I like the fact that he did come back to the WWE, and he had that hell of a match with The Rock at WrestleMania in Toronto, of all places. He was older. They didn't think he could still move, and he did. And look what happened 2 months later. He won the WWF Undisputed Championship. And a cool thing that I seen on the internet this week was the very last image of the WWF was a SmackDown recording before they had to change the name to WWE. And it was Hulk Hogan holding the WWF belt, which means he was the first WWF champion and the final WWF champion, which is pretty cool and shows some longevity there. Now, obviously, him getting older, I've never been in the same building that he was there. I never really seen him come out, rock a crowd. When he showed up on Netflix for the first show this year, I mean, he got booed out of the damn Intuit Dome. Like, it was all that's a horrible last time he came on to WW Network or anything like that. But him coming back to WWE was always good. Obviously his Hall of Fame speech is always good. We knew he was going to be a Hall of Famer from the very beginning. There's no question about that. I like whenever he did come back to WWFE, the fun stuff he was doing, the winning the tag team championship with Edge, that was pretty fun to see. If I recall correctly, wasn't that the first time Hulk Hogan ever held a tag team title? All he's ever been is world champion. Hulk ain't never walking around with the Intercontinental title. And to be honest with you, Hulk Hogan from WrestleMania 3 on, he probably never needed the title. He was always the guy. Let's be honest with that, ladies and gentlemen. But, Hulkamania is going to run wild forever. We know that. It's sad to see, just think about it. Like Jimmy Hart, like I think I texted you this week. Jimmy Hart was his A1 from day one. Let's be honest. Like that was probably, in my personal opinion, that was Hulk Hogan's biggest confidant probably in the wrestling industry was Jimmy Hart. Wherever Hulk was, Jimmy was. Let's be real. Yeah, he had a lot of great friends, but Jimmy Hart was with him during the movie era. Because Eric Bischoff, I watched some, clips of Eric Bischoff talking about when they were trying to get Hulk Hogan to turn heel. And he was like, yeah, I was up there with a case of beer with Hulk and Jimmy Hart up at the top of some mountain in California doing the show. And, you always hear Jimmy Hart with him, Jimmy Hart's hurting, he lost Mean Gene. He lost, Hulk. So, the wrestling world is hurting. So let's focus on the wrestling world, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, God, this is going to get me in trouble for saying this one. At least this tribute was for something that wasn't bad the night before.
Yeah.
If you catch the reference.
Oh, yeah. No.
So the way you described Jimmy Hart, I mean, the best way I could describe was the way Chavo was when Eddie went. Edge, during the Eddie Guerrero tribute is like, I have lost two of my closest friends in the wrestling business when he was talking about Owen Hart and, now Eddie Guerrero. And, he was at both them shows. So the wrestling world, I mean, even AEW, like, did a tribute to Hulk Hogan with Tony Schiavone, which of all people in the world who called some of Hulk Hogan's biggest moments when they're on TNT, he's like, literally Tony Schiavone said, on this channel, TNT, Monday Night Nitro, he made wrestling. I mean, he brought wrestling like Ted Turner loved wrestling. It was the other executives that hated it. They didn't think there was any money in it, but fooled you, buddy.
Yeah, no, like, again, like, even when he went to NWO, like, I think, honestly, like, one of my favorite moments with Hogan is actually a loss when he lost the title in WCW when he lost it to Goldberg. I
Yep.
remember exactly where I was. I was at my grandma's house. I got one of the big giant bowls that I just made cereal and I just plotted in front of the
Hell
TV and
yeah,
I watched
bro.
that entire that freaking pay-per-view. And I just watched everything and I watched when Goldberg spears him and wins the title. I was like but that's what he did. Like, it's still one of those things where he would put the right people over if needed.
Yeah,
Yes, he didn't
yeah,
want to lose the title unless it was to somebody who earned it. Like when he lost to Rock, like that was for him to put Rock even on a higher pedestal than he was already on. So it was like it was always going to do the right thing when it mattered. And that
yeah,
was the thing with him. Like, granted, his personal life, there's a lot of controversy in his personal life. But again, for us as wrestling fans and where wrestling is now, wrestling wouldn't be 100% wouldn't be. You wouldn't have got a Stone Cold. You wouldn't have got The Rock. You wouldn't have a John Cena. You wouldn't have a Roman Reigns. You wouldn't have any of that if it wouldn't have been for Hulk Hogan to bring wrestling into pop culture like he did during the MTV era.
yep. So let's talk about some of his championships and accomplishments and accolades real quick. You ready for this? I'm just going to hit you with the list, okay? He's a two-time Hall of Famer, one as an individual, obviously, and one with the NWO, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it. He is a 6-time world champion, a 1-time tag team champion. He won the Royal Rumble twice. In WCW, he was a 6-time world champion. So he's a 12-time world champion total between those two companies. All right. So what they fail to realize is, there's a lot of Hulk Hogan stories about how many days a year he wrestled, which I find very funny that, I call it Hulk Hogan math, right? So he was the IWGP heavyweight champion one time. Some other accolades from Pro Wrestling Illustrated. He's the comeback of the year for 1994. I guess that's when he went to Atlanta. And then 2002 when he went back to New York, right? So he was the 1999 Inspirational Wrestler of the Year. That's kind of crazy. He had the match of the year at WrestleMania 1. He had the match of the year with Andre the Giant at Main Event 1. So that's the first, I guess, Saturday night's main event. He had match of the year with Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6. And then he had match of the year at 2002 at WrestleMania 18 against The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
He was the most hated wrestler in 1996 and 1998. Fair enough. He is the most popular wrestler 85, 89, and 90. He won Wrestler of the Year 3 times, and he is ranked number 1 as the top singles wrestler in 91 and 2003. So, I mean, and Sports Illustrated ranked him number 2 of the greatest WWE wrestlers of all time. I'm pretty sure they probably put Flair 1, maybe. Would have to look into that. Now, the Wrestling Observer newsletter, I believe this is the who's that one guy? The Dave Metzler reports. I think this might be him. He was obviously the best babyface from 82 to 91.
Mm-hmm.
He's the biggest box office draw in 97. Best gimmick in 96, obviously, for the NWO. The feud of the year in 96, NWO versus WCW. Let's see. And then the rest of these, like, it's just this newsletter listing the worst things. I don't know what you want to do. I'm not going to read his worst things because, I mean, he has some pretty bad moments there at the end of the year. But, hey, he is truly a wrestling icon. He is on everyone's Mount Rushmore. Yeah, I mean, you can't have a professional wrestling, sports entertainment Mount Rushmore without Hulk Hogan. I mean,
No,
most people
they were going under. They were going under. Everything was going under. Like McMahon, even when Junior took over, like when Vince Jr. took over, it was going under, and Vince was like, "We're going to take over the whole country. We're not going to do this regional crap anymore. It's going to be everywhere." And WrestleMania 1 was it. If that final match with Hogan didn't do what it was supposed to do and draw the attention of everyone in there. I mean, he had like Cyndi Lauper and all them in there, like all the
Madison Square
MTV.
Garden, baby.
It had MTV and all that in there. If it did not hold up, and Hogan's a big reason for it holding up, you would not have wrestling today. Wrestling would have went wayside like everything else did back from the 80s. So it's what we have here as wrestling fans, as sports entertainment. Like I said, like you wouldn't even have the entertainment that you have nowadays in professional sports like baseball, football, basketball. You wouldn't have any of that if it wouldn't be for Hulk Hogan, because like you get the draws in now, like the whole touchdown celebrations. That's because of what wrestling did. People wouldn't accept any of that if it wasn't for, hey, it's over here in wrestling too. Granted, your old heads still don't like it because I mean they're old school. Score a touchdown, hand the ball back to the official, get to the sideline. But the young kids now, they really enjoy it. That's why. It's because of wrestling. It's because of sports entertainment. Everybody in professional sports realize there has to be some type of entertainment value to it, and it's because of wrestling.
Absolutely. And again, there is no wrestling without Hulk Hogan. I'll be the first to tell you that. Vince McMahon has probably said it numerous times too, that if WrestleMania 1 didn't work, sports entertainment as we know it would not be what it is today. It will have a bunch of regional territories. FCW would still probably be going on, maybe, but hey, RIP to the Hulkster. We're not talking about Terry Bollea, people. Please don't come at us. We're talking about the professional wrestler Hulk Hogan, who passed away at the age of 71 due to cardiac arrest. 24-inch python, say your prayers, eat your vitamins, rip your shirt off if you want to. We're going to take a quick break, regain our composure. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about what it's like being an AD on the first day of fall sports. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chad Springer, joined always by the amazing Chad Boudreaux, the greatest tag team partner of all time. And we're going to be right back. We're going to take a short break. Thank you for hanging out with the Chads this morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Hanging with the Chads. I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by Chad Boudreaux, the greatest tag team partner of all time. And we are now segueing into our topic today, flipping the switch back on. We've spoke about this throughout the summer, but now we're going to get back into it because it's the real world. It's almost back to school season, and for ADs and coaches, this is just our warm-up this week. There are so many things we got to do. Starting tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially in my school district back on the clock. They are paying us again. So I like money. I'm going to work a little bit extra harder this week than what I did the past few weeks because I like money. They gave us a little bit more money too. So shout out that as well for helping us out with that. I'll take a 6 hours is 6 hours, bro. That's all I'm saying.
We needed it too because we do way more than what the hours they're giving us. But look, we got to take it what we can.
I'm still a proponent. Make us 12-month employees and take away our supplement. I could care less because it's going to be more for us in the end. Just do the math.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hell, actually make us 12-month and give us a supplement. How about that for after hours?
Right.
Hey, well, look, man, it is always a logistical nightmare tomorrow. I don't know about you. All my teams, I have already said, and we're going to get into all of this as we go. All my coaches are reporting at 12:30. We are having our beginning of the year coaches meeting, so it's fresh before they walk out of that office, of that room that we're going to be in. They're getting fed too, so they can't complain. We're doing the civility in athletics, so they can't complain. But god dang, 2:30 p.m. the floodgates are gonna open.
Yeah,
and I still have to hook up the band team because I haven't painted their band practice field yet. So I still got to find some time to do that before 12 o'clock.
See, at least you have a band practice field. See, my thing is, yes, I don't have to paint because I do have the turf. However, I have to share with the band. So there's a lot more of a
No,
nightmare that goes.
give them that room right behind the football equipment room right there, going to the baseball field. Give them that field.
The practice field, yeah,
Yeah.
that never gets painted, and I'm not going out there to paint it. I'm not. No, they don't
Hey,
paint
band director. Here goes a sprayer. Here goes some aerosol.
Yeah, they know how to do that. Yeah, sure.
Look, well, no, my band director, I actually like him. Like I told him, I'm going to paint your field, but I'm also going to give you aerosol cans and some hand walkers for you to do whatever extra you need. I'm going to hook you up this first one. I'm going to charge him though. Paint ain't cheap. I'm going to charge him.
No, it ain't cheap.
He agreed. Hey, he agreed though. He agreed to the number I said, which is a legitimate number. You want a full field painted, charging you $100.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That ain't bad. That's about a case. Honestly, it's approximately it's about a case when you're just doing the sprayer and now you don't have like the one that you have. Because we just have the regular sprayer. It's about a case for a full football field.
We're going the 29-yard line to the 29-yard line. We're going home sideline to top of the numbers on the opposite side with all the tick marks and hashes and yard marks.
Yeah, it's about a case of paint right there.
And he looked, he's like, that's cheap. I was like, that's every time you do this. I'm just going to bomb, hit you. He's like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, the paint's going to stay down probably for about a week or two, depending on how much rain we get. I was like, the touch up, we're just going to have to work and go. But I got all this extra aerosol paint I don't really need. Here you go. It ain't going to be white paint because we ain't got white paint right now. We got yellow, maybe some blue. I don't know. I might still have some blue paint up art from the old rival school down the road, but we'll see what they get. They might get half yellow, half black. I don't know. They get what they get. Beggars can't be chooser. But no, back into the grind, man. Look, first week, we got facility walkthroughs, we got equipment, we got, figure game stuff, we get eligibility, physicals, schedules, setting the tone early. And that's what we're going to talk about here in this very first segment that we're going to get into. And so let's just jump right in, Boudreaux. When are you doing your walkthroughs?
Yeah, so it's going to be just like, yeah, it's kind of just like you got to go and it's hair on fire kind of week this week, right? Yeah. You're going out there. Obviously, you're going to have the good part about it being a fall. Like, this is the good part. Yeah, we talk about having kids get cleared and all that stuff and doing all the eligibility issues and all that stuff. We've got 2 weeks before school starts, before real school starts, when the kids come back. Yep. And most of the time that I find is like these 2 weeks right here, you're going to get a few, but it's not going to be everyone. So it's not like when you have the beginning of winter season, like for us, when it comes to soccer, we have 200 boys and 100 girls that are trying out for the teams, where I got 300 all in one day, or all like that week leading up to it. At least with this, it's going to be, tomorrow we might have 100 total out of all the sports that start tomorrow. And then it's going to start, it gets a little bit more, but at least we have a little bit of time to work into it, because, you freshmen that don't understand, hey, the season actually starts before school starts, or you got the kids that are transferring in from other states. They're like, oh, the season already started. Yeah. And like I said, my rule for my coaches is you have to have a tryout when school starts.
Yep.
Like we know, like, most of the time your returners already know this. They're already tried out. They already did their stuff. The kids that tried out last year kind of know they're doing their stuff. But you still have to do it, because you never know what's going to pop up. You may have a kid that pops up and he's phenomenal, or she's phenomenal, or you got enough to make a freshman team now that you didn't know that you had beforehand.
I don't even know what that is.
So
what's that one?
That part of it, the eligibility thing, it's not as bad as what it would be when you're in school, because again, everybody does everything last minute.
You know what I feel bad for?
What?
I feel bad for those trainers out there that has not looked at Activate our home campus the whole entire summer.
Oh yeah.
Especially when I don't know about your trainer. My trainer says she wants to be the one to sign everybody's physical and EKGs off. go ahead, buddy, because I ain't touching them. I'm making sure they got a 2.0.
No,
And that's not to say anything negative. That's what she requested, and that's what we're going to do. But when we're sitting there with 295 sign-offs, Monday's going to be a very long day.
Because I've checked it, like we talked about, like we don't work during the summer too much because we don't get paid for it. I do check it just to see, because I don't want to go in because I don't have that deal with mine. Like I go in there and I'll clear them if I see them, and she'll clear them if she sees them. I went in there once a week, and each week was probably about 40 kids that I had to go through.
I didn't want to touch it because we went back to home campus.
You went back to home campus, yeah.
When I say we, I mean me, not we as in you and I. We're talking about school when we're separated, buddy.
Yeah.
No, we down at the corner of Point Siena Boulevard and Pleasant Hill Road, we decided to go back to home campus, which that was a whole dumpster fire right there. Did I tell you what happened with that? They sent my invoice down to Bulldog Nation. Bulldog Nation found out how much I was paying for it.
And they got mad.
Very happy. I was like, hey, don't get mad at me.
That's why I stayed where I'm at, because mine's free. I'm staying where I'm at least for another year.
It's free for a home campus. They gave it to us for free. Shout out Lindsay at home campus, by the way. I appreciate you for that. Shout out the COO for coming through in the clutch. Anyway, back on thing. I didn't want to really do anything because I want her to learn at the same time. My trainer, that is.
Yeah.
So now the kids that coming in the summer, I seen them playing spring football. I had to clear them in spring football on activate. Guess what? I know you're good. Make sure your sign-offs are done. Great. Awesome. Good. Come out. But, it's going to be a little headache for some people tomorrow. That's all I'm going to say. I got to do a couple of walkthroughs with the new shot socks we got put up. They stay on 24 hours a day unless you cut them off physically with the control box. So I got to actually go. My goals are raised up. I'm just like, whatever. I don't even care anymore. Just whatever. Keep them up. Because I've already told my PE class that those goals are not coming down during the school day. And they're like, but why not? I was like, you see that big square on the side right there with a lit up 8-8 on it? I was like, that's not going to be a lawn dart projectile for these dumb kids you got in here playing basketball or dodgeball or volleyball. I was like, that gets broken. Who's paying for it?
Right.
So, but yeah, so I know I still got some baseball lights out that still ain't got fixed. So I got to find out why the work order hasn't got pushed through. So that's one thing I got to do tomorrow. I got to finalize one football game. So I got to call a friend of mine over in OCPS to figure that out for me. I've been waiting on. So at the end of the day, it's all about setting the tone, man, and setting the tone. What is the tone? People's always like, oh, what's the tone? How do you set it? Well, to be honest with you, I don't know. Tone setting for me, your tone is the way things are going to go. Your attitude, your everything is on your first coaches meeting.
Yeah.
Everything. And so, obviously we know all the crap that's going to come tomorrow. But for me, tomorrow comes my coaches meeting too, because I just knock it out. I just knock it out right away. Get it done. Get it fresh. I'm going to let you start, though. So what are some of the things that you cover in your start of the year, beginning of the year coaches meeting?
So first thing we do is we do the civility and athletics. We get that out the way.
Bingo.
Basically, it is like, don't do anything stupid. That meeting. And then after that, it's, look, don't play a kid unless you know 100% that kid's cleared and it's coming from me. Number 2, don't put a coach on the field unless he's 100% cleared and you get an email from me telling you he's cleared. And then after that, setting a tone is going to be more of, all right, this is what, if I walk out to your practice, this is what I want to see. Because in the past, when I wasn't the AD, I would be at practice, or I would just walk out there because I was checking something with soccer stuff, and I'd watch a practice, and I'm like, "What are we doing?" They're just standing around doing nothing,
bro.
So that's
a funny story for that.
That's the thing that would kill me. So my thing is that I want to see movement. I want to see constant movement. I want to see kids engaged. I want to see Like that's what the tone will be for everyone. Be engaged, be there for your kids, work them, love them, do whatever. I mean, we're incorporating another thing now, which next week I got to do for football. We're getting up at school for 5 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, and they're going to run through a boot camp. I'm running a boot camp with them.
Ooh, are you going to put your campaign cover back on?
No, I have a camouflage celebration hat that I wear for it.
Stand in position of attention, say, "I sir, I sir."
No, but I do make them get in the formation. I do make them get in formation to start with.
Jesus.
But no, like it's fun. Like they get up they have to be there at 5 a.m. We start doing just random.
Isn't hazing part of policy 36 now?
Yes, it's not. It's not. There's nothing that we're doing that's hazing. Not a damn thing. It's hazing that we're doing.
Hey, funny story is I beat hazing charges in the Marine Corps. That's all I'm saying. If I could beat him in the Marine Corps, I could beat him in public.
But yeah, that's
that wasn't hazing though.
The whole tone setting thing that we're going with this year, the whole theme of the year this year that we're going with is that we're one big family. The whole athletic department.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if you're part of the fishing team, you're part of the football team. If you're not, if you're part of the bowling team, you're part of the basketball team. Like everyone is together. We're all in this one big fight because, like in our county, those two big dogs got to come down, and we're the only ones that are equipped to take those two big dogs down.
Yeah.
So we're going after it, and we're going to be together, and that's the only way we can do it.
I told my rival school we was going to create a super team. Since we don't have a lot of teams, we was going to create super teams. So Friday Night Lights shit, bro. Like, I mean, technically, if I don't have a team offered, they can go to the other school and play that sport.
True.
Just saying, every year we're just going to flip back and forth.
But no, I mean that's kind of what it is. Like, I'm not doing my coaches meeting yet because I want to get all the coaches in it on one time and be done with it. And the best time for us to do that is to do it during teacher planning week. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to do my meeting then. But my coaches that start out in the fall, one of them's not even in the country right now, so she's not starting until school starts. And the other ones, they're not starting. The only one that's really starting tomorrow is cross country and football. And there are two of my coaches that I trust the most. So I know they're going to do things right. So I'm not really worried that much yet.
All right. So for me, everybody's starting tomorrow in the fall. We're probably not going to have a swim team. We just haven't found a coach. That sucks, but I mean, it is what it is. So tomorrow at our coach meeting, everybody's going to be there because I want to knock everybody out. Now, like the newer coaches coming in, obviously I'm going to have a winter meeting and a spring meeting, so I'm not really worried about it. I'll get them in one of those. I'm going over expectations, and for me, it's all about professionalism, communication, and accountability. Look, I know I'll be the first to admit I'm not the easiest to get along with because everybody just thinks I sit in my office all day long and do absolutely nothing but twiddle my thumbs and say, how can I screw with my coaches' lives today? They don't see that I'm pulled in 37 different directions, bro, all day long. They don't see that. And so I try to explain to them. I literally tell my coaches what I do on a daily basis. So, but it's all about communication. I'm only going to communicate with you through email. If I got to send you a text, hey, come see me today when you come in, it's crazy. And then people think, oh my God, he's texting me, I'm in trouble. No, if I'm emailing you, you're in trouble. Because if you email and you see two other people on it that is never really on emails, then that's when we got an issue. Right. But, we're going over policies. We know policy 36 has changed. We're going over our transportation. We're going over our social media. We're going on how we're going to present ourselves because my theme is the same every single year. We're going to work harder than everybody, but we're going to change the hearts and minds what they think about Liberty High School. It's that simple. Look, man, it's not a, oh my God, this is news moment. Everybody knows what Liberty High School is, was, or will be. Everybody knows what the stigma is there. It's up to the people inside the building to change that.
Right.
And that's what we're going to do. And, I'm going to tell them what their roles are, what my expectations are. It is one big happy family because we have to endure and outlast all that crap that we got to deal with on a daily basis. If we can't work together, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, I've told you this 100 times. My very first coaches meeting with them now 2 years ago, I walked in the room. I said, look around the room. Some of you won't be here next year. Some of them wasn't here.
All right, Coach. Coach Ron.
No, I didn't tell them to pack their bags. I was bringing Louis with me. I said, look around the room. Some of you won't be here next year because you won't fit the mold I want for a coach. I got coaches letting kids drive the damn school vans.
Yeah.
Bruh, it has a damn camera in it. I got coaches touching kids. What rule did they just break? Springer's rule of number 1. You know, like, come on, bro. Let's be real here. This is what my expectation are. Your coaches are going to be cleared to be out there. Your kids are going to be cleared to be out there. Don't try and, hey, don't get it twisted. I make every single kid come to my office first before they go to the locker room tomorrow. And I mark an X on a kid's hand with a permanent marker. I might actually go buy some wristbands from the Dollar Tree and give them to them this year. But if they ain't got a wristband or they ain't got an X on their hand, they're not supposed to be there. That means they did not come and see me, and that means they are not cleared. So what do? They went around me, or the coaches went around me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who's going to get held accountable then?
Coaches, always. It's always the head coach. Always the head coach.
Well, here's the thing, Boudreaux. So I'm going to break this down for you. Our amazing friend TK over at old Poinciana Eagle Nation, she got the same email from a prospective individual wanting to play a certain sport, and I got the same email. So think about this. Say this individual goes to a Eagle practice at 9 o'clock in the morning because they're practicing in the morning. Oh, I don't like it here. Can they legally come to old Charger Nation? Absolutely not. Nope. So that's why every kid comes and sees me. And if you're a non-traditional kid, I'm calling the other schools before you even walk on the field. I'm not setting my program up for failure because you're dumb self. Let's be real. That's the theme. The theme is to do the right thing, even when nobody's looking. And I tell my coaches this all the time. Oh, Osceola does this. I don't give a fuck what any other school does. And that's my exact phrase. Excuse me, I know I cussed. I will edit it later, maybe, or I'll just put the explicit button. I don't care what another school does because I don't work at another school. I work here. This is what we are going to do. That's the theme that I'm setting for them tomorrow. I don't care what Osceola does. I don't care what Celebration does. No offense. I don't care what Poinciana does. I don't care what Harmony does. I don't care what St. Cloud does. I don't care what Gateway does. I don't care what Toho does. I don't care what any school in this district does, with the exception of Liberty High School.
Yep. Exactly. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's always the one thing that I've always said is that when I come across a coach or another adult, like kids do it all the time. But when I come across another coach and they're like, well, this one did it, or this one does it, or that one does it, I'm like,
don't care.
What are we, 12?
Yeah.
Like, you're an adult. Deal with your shit. I don't even care like if a teacher at my high school is doing something one way. If you fall under my command as the athletic director and you're a coach, I only care about what you're doing. I don't care about anyone else except for my 50 head coaches that are running programs. That's all I care about. Those 50 coaches. No one else.
Yep.
I want Celebration to be the AAA school that it should be. But at the end of the day, none of that matters to me. Athletics is the only thing that matters to me as far as my job and me as a human, as being in charge of something. So why would I care? If I don't care about what teachers are doing in this class at Storm Nation, why would I care about what they're doing on the other side of the county? I don't care what they're doing down south in the state. I don't care what they're doing in Georgia, Louisiana. I only care about my 50 coaches.
Yep.
That's my job. That's what I was hired to do.
I care about
your job as a coach is to just worry about what you're doing in your program, not anybody else.
I care about that 5x5 square acre that we live on. That's all I care about, bro. Like, look, man, at the end of the day, the only time I care about a teacher is if it's one of my coaches who screwed up in the classroom. Because I tell them, look, what you do, it's just like a student. What you do in the classroom could affect what you do on this field.
Oh, yeah.
If they say
Don't lose your $50,000 job for your $5,000 supplement or $3,000 supplement.
Like literally, like don't look up in that classroom, because if they say you can't teach, they're ultimately going to tell me you can't coach.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only certain times where they pull that plug. All right. Look, because I mean, we're hiring a coach inside the school, and I sit down with the coaches that work inside the school and I say, hey, look, we're offering you this supplemental position. It is a supplemental position. Please be aware what you do in the classroom can affect whether you get the supplemental money or not. Don't be a screw up in the classroom, because if I can tell you, a lot of schools, if you're coaching, you're not on the chopping block often, because they know how valuable coaches are. So if it comes down to it, if you're screwing up in the classroom, you might be on both chopping blocks.
Yep.
I tell them, yo, just do the right thing. I ain't been in the classroom in 3 years, bro. I wouldn't want to go back in the classroom.
No.
No. But
no.
Today, nah. I ain't going back in the classroom.
Nope.
I go work at the damn QT as a district manager. This shit don't work. Yo, it'd be hanging with the Chad's civilian edition.
Right.
Look, I'll be able to say whatever I want then.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, man, we just don't screw up in that classroom. Oh my God, don't screw up in the classroom. Don't be the reason I got to go see the principal. Hey, Boudreaux can't coach this week. We have an investigation. I'm like, oh shit. I only dust my whistle off for a couple of sports, okay? And that's football and football. But
I mean, I did it. I had to for a day. It was great.
Hey, didn't you win that game?
No, we lost. We got smoked.
Oh, wasn't it to Dustin?
Yeah, it was to them. Somebody who's never coached a sport in his life, and this dude's played it and coached it for his whole life. Yeah, and with the program that he's been coaching for 3 years, has his own little youth league team too. I mean, come on,
terrible.
We got smoked, but he was good about it.
Yeah. So look, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about setting the tone, setting the theme, whatever you want to do. It's just literally the easiest thing to do is just follow the rules. As athletic directors and coaches, what is different than teaching is teaching you only got to answer to 2 people, the state and the district. As coaches and ADs, you got to answer to 3 people, the state, the athletic organization, and the district. And now the state and athletic organization are kind of like this. So it's still its own little entity, though, because the last thing I want to do is go sit in Mr. Damon's office for a face-to-face meeting, not doing the podcast. Okay. Which that's one of my guest goals, is I want Mr. Damon on here. Like, I don't care.
I mean, it's the same thing too. Like, but then also with coaching, like in the classroom, unless you're doing block scheduling or whatever, you're in there. You're going to see the kid for 50 minutes. They're gone.
Yep.
Where coaching, the least amount you're going to see that kid each day is 2 hours. That's just practice. If you have games that are on the road, you're going to see them a lot longer. So, and then there's going to be Saturdays that you might be with the kids. Like, there's more of an opportunity for you to do the right thing, but there's a bigger opportunity for you to do something terrible.
Yeah.
So just make sure you follow the rules. Just follow the rules. Don't do stupid shit. Plain and simple. And you'll be fine.
I'm not a cliche guy. I'm not hey, we're going to be all in, man. We're going to be one team, one fight. Rah, 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 rah. I'm not that type of guy. I'm like, look, it's real simple. Follow the rules. You keep your job. Plain and simple. Following the rules. I mean, that's probably been our trend here on the show for quite some time. Follow the rules. All right. So, culture, it doesn't build itself. You got to set the direction now, because when adversity hits, your theme is what you're going to fall back on. If my theme is we're going to follow the rules, then that means somebody broke the rules. Plain and simple. And we don't want that, because, again, if we've said it once, we said it a million times. If you're about the kids, then be about the kids, but you have to do it within the confines of the rules. We aren't in college. We aren't professionals. We don't get extra benefits because we're now still considered amateurs. Okay. That's what we are. So just follow the rules. And like, that's how I do it. Hold them accountable. You got to keep it consistent with everybody. Like, I have email drafts that are saved for every specific example that might come up. And I just copy and paste into the emails to answer the questions. My email signature has everything you need on it. I have a direct phone number now to my office. We found out our safety and security plan doesn't work because when the front office workers leave at 2:45, 3 o'clock, they forward all phone calls from the school to voicemail. So how can you call my extension if it goes to voicemail? So the school district, I have my own telephone number now.
I thought we all did because I have mine.
Well, I have my own. I will send it to you, but it's not, extension whatever. It's a legit telephone number. That's great.
Yeah, so what I had mine, the usual extension that we all have, which every number is the same except for that first number for each school. But then I had an outside direct line that they can call me from too.
Yeah, I finally got that. I'm working on call forwarding, so we'll hopefully get that soon, so I can forward all calls to my phone while I'm walking around campus. But it's neither here nor there. But I try to treat everybody the same. Greetings. Thank you for emailing me.
No, man, that's the thing though, right? Like, it's just like the problem that a lot of these, especially young coaches that are the older coaches, like not the ones that have like in the middle, that have like in the heat of it. It's the ones that are about to get out and they're looking for that one last championship, are the ones that are trying to make a name for themselves. Like, they keep treating different kids differently. If the kid is the star on the team, we're going to give him some extra whatever, or we're going to let him off doing this stuff and this guy over here. Or even the ones, some coaches, they'll be like, well, this kid's giving me, parents are giving me all this money, let me give him a little bit of extra. No, like,
negative.
Again, it's just, it's really, as long as they just, like we said, follow the rules, treat everyone exactly the same, you'll never have that issue. You may get a parent that's going to be mad, oh, my kid, I donated all this money and I'm not going to my kid's not going to start. No, your kid's not good. I mean, thanks for the money, but your kid's not good.
Appreciate the donation.
What do you want me to do about it? And that's the thing. Like, it's just at the beginning of the year, as long as ADs we set that tone from the beginning of the year, saying that, just like you're saying, your theme is follow the rules. You more than likely you're not gonna have any issues. There's always gonna be issues that pop up because, again, like you said, we're all amateurs. Kids are gonna do stupid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You might have one or two coach that thinks he's better than everyone else. He can get away with stuff. And then that's when you got to do what you got to do. But as long as you get it out there to begin with, like as an AD, you cover yourself.
Yeah.
Again, CYA, pretty much all it is.
CYA, baby. Hey, look, speaking of CYA, we're going to go cover ourselves right now. We're going to take a real quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to end the show the right way. We're going to have a little bit of fun with Boudreaux. He doesn't know about what's coming up next. So we're going to put him on the spot, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by the great, amazing Mr. Bayou man himself, Chad Boudreaux. We'll be right back. We appreciate you hanging with the Chads this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we're going to be right back and have a little bit of fun. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Hanging with the Chads. I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by Mr. Chad Boudreaux, the Bayou Bengal himself, the Saint of New Orleans, the living legend himself. But Boudreaux, we're going to put you on the spot today. We're going to have a little fun with you, and we're going to have a little fun with myself too. And I did not prepare for these. I just typed them up and put them in my little report. But we're going to do a little bit of this or that with you today. It's going to have a little bit of fun. So here we go. We're going to start off. We're going to find out who you are. There's no right answer. It's just your style, your culture, and let's debate a few things. Are you, for your coaching meeting, a PowerPoint and policies or a locker room speech and whiteboard vibes?
Ooh. So I hate PowerPoints. Like, I show them because we have to. But even when we did, like, we had the freshman open house or whatever it was this past a couple weeks ago, I had a PowerPoint that the school put together for me to show. Yeah, I didn't like. I'll put the slides up, but I go on my own tangents and talk about whatever I
Yeah.
want to talk about
Yeah.
that follows that slide. I hate going into places and people insult your intelligence by throwing up a PowerPoint and reading word for word what's on it.
This
So
is a
yeah,
great
yeah,
time.
I'm not the PowerPoint guy. It'll be there. I'm also not the rah-rah speech guy either, unless I'm actually coaching and it's pregame and then I'll give the rah-rah speeches. Usually it's more of, look, guys, this is where we're at. This is where we want to be. Don't do these things. Do these things instead. And then I always show that appreciation because I was there. I know what it is to coach. I know what it is to spend all this time, get zero extra dollars for it, or the very little that they get. So I always show the appreciation, but it's never the whole like, read PowerPoint one, read PowerPoint stuff.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
I am definitely not death by PowerPoint. The only PowerPoint I show is stability and athletics. I am a lecture based. Here's our meeting agenda. This is what we're going to cover. If you want to take notes, but it's an agenda. So everything we're going to talk about is there. So like, I'm not going to sit there and give you a Rudy, let's go out there and win the game for the Gipper speech, but I'm just going to conversate with you. Hey, this is what we got to do. This is how you're going to do it type deal. So, I mean, I'm not going to get a rah-rah speech unless I am truly coaching, but yeah, I'm definitely not a PowerPoint guy. Freshman orientation, they made me do a PowerPoint slide. All I did was put my contact information on it. I was like, this is how you contact me. We offer these sports. This is what day they start. This is the things you need to get done. Here's my business card.
Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, I think we're on the same board as that. I mean, whiteboard, drawing up plays for kids. I mean, that means nothing now. You got Huddle and Quick Cuts and all that. You could just automatically do them by a computer. All right, so we're going to move on to your coaching expectations. Do you what type of coach thrives in your program, or the ones that drive you crazy? The loud and intense coaches or cool, calm, and collective coaches? Which one would you prefer?
The calm and collective. I'm not a big, if you can't tell, I'm not a big like lose my mind, yell at people kind of person. I'm more of just a calm person. And honestly, when I go, like I've had coaches in the past that like lose their mind on the sideline, throw stuff, yell at people. Like those coaches, they are the ones that do not really connect a lot with the kids, especially the kids at my school. So those are the coaches that usually they're not the ones that really fit our program. Our coaches that build those relationships, they're the ones that put the arms around the shoulders. Now, yeah, granted, every once in a while you're going to have to get into a kid and or get into an official because you got to be there for your kids when you feel like your kids are being wronged. But
Like
most
we
of the
did
time,
that official when we played in football this year.
right. But most of the time, it's more of just like have conversations with the kids, pull them aside, keep them away. Like if you're gonna get into a kid, like not yelling at them, but like tell them what they're doing wrong and how to fix it or correct their behaviors. It's better to do it kind of behind closed doors, and not spotlight them. Where a lot of times I'm not, like I said, the ones that really fit in our programs are going to be the calm, cool, collected coaches that they can withstand a lot of BS and just keep pushing forward.
So this is where we're opposite. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, we are yin and yang over here. Now, I do have a caveat for this. I don't mind loud and intense because let's face it, I'm pretty loud and intense, okay? And I don't mind cool, calm, and collective, situational. What I hate is pandering to the crowd, doing it for the show. Don't be yelling, look at these refs always trying to screw us out here. Man, who gives a fuck? Play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Coach the game. What are you telling your athletes if you're yelling to the crowd and talking about the refs? The refs ain't perfect. And speaking of referees, next week we're going to have a really great show with referees. But they're not perfect. They're human beings. Most of them coach too. So let it be. At the end of the day, I don't mind if they're loud and intense. I like excitement. I'm a football guy, not a football guy, a football guy. So we're going to be loud and intense. Do you need to be that way during a boys or girls volleyball game?
Right.
You can.
Yeah, but
warranted the game.
Yeah, like I said, it's part of it's depending on what's going on.
Yeah.
But to me, if you're loud and intense and always like you're saying, always dogging the referees, like your kids are going to take the same mentality. I'd rather have my kids being calm in any situation, and that's reason. Like when I was coaching soccer, like there was a lot of times that when we came out in the second half, we took over the game, and it wasn't because of like some ridiculous changes I made at halftime. Yeah, I may have said one or two things that we needed to do, but it was because our boys didn't lose their hope. They didn't lose their shit because of whatever else was going on. They stayed with themselves. And that's what happened. Like even with last year with our football team, our coach, he did a great job. He stayed calm, cool, collected, regardless of whatever game we were in. He was always calm and collected. And they fought through like years previous where we started losing the game. It was like, oh, here we go again. He was calm, cool, collected. Yes, there was times I walked in the locker room. I walked right back out because I knew it was about to happen. But at the end of it, when he's on the sideline, he was never one to be losing his shit. And the boys stayed with him, stayed that course the way he wanted.
How come as an AD, the only time I've ever lost my mind on coaches have dealt with Celebrations football team? 2 games. We're 2 for 2 with me getting mad at a referee. Are we going to go 3 for 3 this year with me getting mad at a referee? Do I need
that one was crazy. Dude, the past 2 years are crazy with us. I'm not going to lie.
The first one, I probably was going to fight that referee if it wasn't for TW.
Oh, no, dude. Like, I was with you. Like, he needed to go. And then last year, like, that was insane. Like, I even walked up to the principal last year and I went, oh, I don't know about this one.
Hey, look, ladies and gentlemen, a referee last year, not the year before. The year before, that was a totally different day. Last year, threw my kid out who was on the bench getting taped. Threw my kid out. I was like, what the? Like, I literally, like, oh my God. I was like, dude, I could not wait to get an email sent to the state, to the officials. I put Kevin Bowersox on the email. I put everybody on this email. I was like, what in the atrocity is this? And like, I was like, this referee should never be able to referee again.
No, that one was bad. That one was bad.
The year before, though,
it wasn't even a kid that was involved with. Like, I was like, all right, well, maybe because I didn't see the whole thing happen, but maybe like your kid, not that kid, because I knew that kid was on the sideline. But your kid that was involved in it, I thought he did something. And I was like, I almost know for a fact my kid may have did something. So I'm running over there, pull my kid out of there, and then they're like, oh, and then they talk about it. So me and my coach walk over there, and they're like, oh, well, this kid got thrown out, and we're like, okay, they just walked out.
My kid was literally on video on the sideline with his leg up on the bench with the trainer. I was like, what are we doing here, man? Oh my God. And the year before that, oh God, I almost was not an AD very long in the school district.
Yeah, I know.
That was bad. 2 months. It would have been 2 months. Look, backstory on that one. That was the day my brother died. I found out walking on Boudreaux's field, my brother died. So needless to say, I wasn't in my right mind. And then a referee doing what the hell he was doing. Like, he was literally yelling at one of my kids, like forcibly yelling. And I was like, hey, bud.
No, he was just talking shit to him, too, the whole time. The whole time he was talking shit to everybody, like players on my team, your team.
Look, my SROs, when I was talking to the ref, you know, they always wear their body cam right here. They went, boop. I was like, oh God. I was like, let me get away from this guy before I get fired. Oh God, that was horrible. Okay, let's move it on here real quick. Can you build a championship culture either with your program's identity being a blue-collared and gritty or a fast-paced and flashy?
You got to put in the word, dude. Blue collar. It's got to be blue collar. You can't just be flashy. Because our football team had flashy players and we're historically terrible. Like, we've always had flashy players. I mean, we had one of the top running backs in the state, but he was just flash. He was no grit. And so it's literally, you got to put the work in. You got to be able to be blue collar. There's going to be times where you just got to dig down deep, no matter who you play. So yeah, you can't build championship by just being, hey, here we are. Ha ha, look how cute we are. Fuck that. Yeah, be blue collar.
Definitely agree with you. We're workers down there. I tell my coaches all the time, and I even tell the kids, it's like, we're not good enough to be arrogant and flashy. I mean, that's the real talk. As an athletic director, you know what you're good at.
Right.
We're not good enough yet. And even when we are, we're still going to act like we're not because it's all about perception. Like they wanted these flashy ass uniforms. I was like, yeah, nah, you're getting some plain Janes, bro. We don't need flash. The only reason you got the stupid little stripes on your arm is because I told Dustin, make him look like the damn Green Bay Packers. That's the only reason. Because I didn't want plain green tops and plain white tops. I wanted something.
Yeah,
But,
you gotta have something, but you can't be like, no.
Yeah, we're not good enough to be flashy, man. We're not good enough. Not yet. We're getting there. All right, very last question. Here we go. Let's be honest. Communication 101. Are you a simple text message or an old school email guy?
All right, so I am text message if I need to get something like quickly. Like last couple weeks ago, it was they were doing the gym floors, like they were waxing the floors, not the actual gym, but like the hallways into it. So I quickly sent a text message to my coaches that I knew were working out there in the summer. Hey, stay out of the gym. Don't go to the weight room today. They're doing the floor, or this week they're doing the floors. But if it's something that's important, like, hey, don't let this coach on the sideline until I tell you to, I put it in an email. And I make sure that certain people get that email. So when it's something that I need to go back, like keep the receipts on, I'll always have the email. But if it's something real quick, don't go in the gym, or hey, can you come to my office? That's where the text message will come out.
Yeah, I have all my coaches on a group chat in my phone. Just give them quick information what's going on. But if I need to get my point across, it's in an email. Mm-hmm. And I do a one step extra. I put in read receipts, even though, let's be honest, how often do they actually read it and actually do it?
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Like, come on, man.
It doesn't matter now. If you have the receipts saying that,
yep,
at least it was sent to them, even if it didn't read it, or you get the read receipt, none of that. As long as it was sent to them, you can send that up, because I've had that happen with us, where I just sent it up to the district, and I'm like, look, here's all my correspondence with him to tell him not to do this, not to do that, and he still did it.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? It's out of my hands now. CYA.
Yep. So, and with that, I send it only to the Active Directory emails. There's only two coaches that I use their personal emails, and that's because one coach, there's like 4 people with his name in it, and all their names got screwed up. So it's like, Chad Springer 2, 3, 4, 5, like all the names got screwed up. So I just send it to his personal email. The other one, he's a firefighter. I send it to his personal email because I know they check those emails.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He ain't going to check Chad Springer at Gmail, but he's going to check Chad Springer, a firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's, I'll send them to that. And other than that, I say what needs to be said. And then, when they come in, hey, Boudreaux, do you see the email I sent? He's either going to say yes or no. If he says yes, I'm like, well, what do you think about what the state said? And he's either going to bullshit me or actually tell me he answered it,
right.
Credit, So, hey, as we wrap up today's episode, just remember, how you start the year matters. Your tone matters. Building the standard matters. Protecting your culture like it's a game every single day. All right? Just do the right thing, ladies and gentlemen. But until then, you're going to coach them hard. You're going to love them harder. But we have to do one very special shout out today. Shout out to CC Sabathia, Billy Wagner, Dave Parker, Dick Allen, and the great Ichiro Suzuki for entering Cooperstown this afternoon. Ichiro should have been 100% voted, but some little jackass out there that wants to make a name for himself decided he didn't want to vote for Ichiro.
Same thing that happened to the kid, man. Same thing that happened to the kid.
Like,
makes no damn sense.
These guys should have to put their name out there who did it.
Right.
You should have to put your name out there and say, I didn't vote for Ichiro and why I didn't vote for Ichiro. I want to know why. I want to bring that person on this show, and I want him to tell me why he did not vote for Ichiro Suzuki. All-time single season hit record. MVP, Rookie of the Year, same year.
We wouldn't have the influx of Asian players if it wasn't for Ichiro.
All of them says Ichiro was their favorite player growing up.
Exactly.
Come on, bro. Ichiro did it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is, the dude could hit bombs. But he's like, why do I want to hit home runs all the time? I can get on base and steal.
Exactly. Like, he was situational. Why hit a home run when you can get on and you can get more runs?
Let Brett Boone and Jay Bruner hit home runs right behind me.
Right.
You know? Hey, that 2001 Mariners team was fucking stacked. They should have. I like the fact that Diamondbacks beat the Yankees in the World Series. But, you know, Seattle was my team growing up. Even after the big three left, they were still my team for a little bit. That 2001 team was fucking stacked. You got Jamie Moore, you're throwing 81 mile an hour fastballs, winning 20 fucking games. Come on now. That's awesome right there. I mean, he probably not won 20 games, but still, you know, it's just is what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. We love you. Next week's episode is going to be amazing. It will be a little bit later than usual. We have to work around some schedules, but we are going to have the boys from Stripe Life on here. We're talking about Michael Rummel, David Jackson, better known as Rum and Jax. Hey, great names for officials right there. Little Jack, little Rum. I have personally known Jackson since I was 14 years old. He was my former coach and teacher. Two amazing men that's going to open us up to the world of officiating, and they are Hall of Famers. Let's just not get it twisted. They are Hall of Famers, ladies and gentlemen. Boudreaux, how are we going to end the show?
Hey, man, get better.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the man himself, Mr. Chad Boudreaux. Get better. I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by the great Chad Boudreaux. Get 1% better today so you can be better tomorrow. Have a great week, ADs, going into what I like to call Hell Week tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for hanging with the Chads.